everybody. It's Saturday, July 13th, 2024. I wanted to drop in to say hello to you. I don't really have a lot to talk about. I've been very, very busy. I do want to say to everyone that placed their order, I finally got them all done a couple of days ago, and my beautiful assistant came over, picked them up, and they're already shipped. I already have the receipt. You excuse me. You should be getting them soon. If you have any questions about how to use any product, let me know. I put a formula in for the hair growth serum. It's really strong because this person has dreadlocks. And what I tell people, which a lot of them are finding out the hard way, over time, if you're doing all of that twisting to the hair to get twisting the roots, getting them redone, and they look absolutely beautiful, but people need to know over time, as you keep doing that hard twisting to make them tight and smooth, if they nappy and fuzzy and frizzy at the roots, and to make them lay down, you are putting a lot of pressure on the follicle. You are damaging the follicle, and over time those dreadlocks are going to get thin and they're going to start falling out. Some of them will come out directly from the root because you're basically destroying the follicle and you're spacing them out. So a lot of people will have long dreadlocks. Luckily, they have them beautiful. They're thick and they're full. Maybe it's the way they handle them. I don't know what they're doing, as well as genetics. But if they're doing a lot of twisting at the scalp, continuing to do it over time, and as the hair gets longer and the weight of the hair is pulling on those roots, the roots are not that big, especially when you have a lot of heavy hair hanging down, stressing them out day and night, and you're not pinning that hair up, trying to take pressure off the roots, that you're going to have bald spots in the head. Luckily, a lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. So the person that contacted me, I made a very strong that you don't rinse out. You put it in twice a day. I use it. It helped me. I no longer have any bald spots in my head like I had 5 years ago when Nipsey came in here and I started doing his readings. He gave me the formula. I made them. I have several variations of them. Um, the ones I like have the pure essential oil, so they loud. You know, I'm country. They have the oil, the rich oil base olive oil. I use argan oil. A lot of people like the argan oil, the aloe vera oil. Of course, I love the castor oil. Those things make the hair grow. So those are thicker and those are loud, but they're very, very strong. And they have the growth herbs in them and the DHT blockers, like saw palmetto. Like those for men and women. DHT is the chemical that causes the hair to come out, create bald patterns, bald spots, and even if you have the genetics, they're saying it usually comes from the mother. If you have the genetics and you see all the women went bald and female pattern baldness, which I saw it in 3 women from 3 generations in my family, my mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother. That will not happen to every woman in the family, but I know that when I get really stressed in the past, I've gotten really, really stressed out, my hair has come out. A lot of people, when they get stressed out, their hair comes out and it turns gray. I have stopped that from happening to me. I've turned off that gene. And these formulas have helped me do it along with the DHT blockers. And the same thing for you. So I made him one that's not as thick, but it still has the oils in it, but it has a spray nozzle on the top of it. So he can spray it on his scalp. But also, I think, no, I'm sorry, well, it's women too. Men and women get the formula. Um, Also, you want to exfoliate your scalp. And so I put oils and actually have a acid like a gel And retin A's are good for that. A retin A gel to put on your scalp to start peeling your scalp down. That will help to open up the scalp and get all the debris and fungus and bacteria and stuff. You don't even know that's on there. And I have other formulas that I create for that too. You want to peel that scalp down simultaneously while you are spraying the very strong, I make very strong growth serums. So that one is loud and very strong, very thick, very rich. But I also have what I call a corporate blend. No oil in it. No, like no castor. I mean, it has a castor, but it's not thick. You won't even know it's there. You can't smell this oil. This oil is colorless and it's odorless. For people that are on a corporate level or have to engage a lot of people, uh, and you don't want anybody to smell you or wonder what that is. Overall, people like the one with the eucalyptus, the peppermints, the tea trees and stuff in it. They don't really ask for the corporate blend, and it is expensive because it cost me a lot to make it and create it. I'm using newer formulas that Nipsey also gave me that are colorless and odorless. Combining them, and I'm putting it on my hair so I can regrow my hair. It's good for you when you start off using products. You want to measure where the hair is, and especially like I had so many broken off pieces um, from the fungus and mold getting in my head, and my head was like had really thick crusty cradle cap on it, so I could just touch it very lightly and the hair was coming out in my hand. I'm gonna take a picture and show it to you because from like when this started happening to me like 10 years ago, when the guy from D Health Store, not D Herbs, I love D Herbs, D Health Store poisoned me, that caused itself to hootie my aunt Raw. It's like 2012 when I had went to LA and I shot with Touch.0. That's when I got products from his store, and I had been buying his products. That didn't happen to me until I got them from his store. And then he proceeded to say it was me. It was because I was a prostitute that my hair fell out. I don't know nobody that ever had no comb that made their hair fall out. So I was saying I was a prostitute. I would be dead before 2013. Because you know what? That's really something. I've had so many people try to cause death to me and do death spells against me. And this was a man who had also made sexual advances towards me that I refused. And I noticed the timing of it. After that, I go to LA. I get this kit specially made for me. He even gave my hairstylist at the time a kit because we had just shot Touch.0. And he didn't get sick, but I did. And he wasn't trashed. I was accused of these things to this day. He still has not proven. Like when all these people say I'm a prostitute, I sleep with these different men. I wait for them to bring the men forward. Hell, I'm still waiting for the men to come forward. They goddamn self and say that's what they come over here and doing. Trying to trash and destroy my character. Clearly, that was the goal up front. And then to wish death on me. I saved these emails and how he stole my formulas from me, telling me if I sent the formulas to him, he would sell my formulas in my store and give me my money. He took the formulas and then said that it was right for him to steal them and make his own formulas because I stole them from somebody. I didn't steal anything from anybody. Of course, there are recipes and oils and butters that are just public knowledge. You can see on YouTube. You can see them anywhere. Common ingredients we all use. Herbs, flowers, roots, oils that we cook with and eat with every fucking day. But I've never stolen anything from anybody. I've never had anybody come forward that made a product and say I stole it from them. Never have. My concepts, my other creations, my gold creams, nobody's ever accused me of stealing that from them. So, I'm still waiting for these men to come forward that I fuck all the time, which I don't even understand. I've dealt with that lie all of my life, but people say I shouldn't address it. No, I am going to address it because, you don't let lies don't die. Unfortunately, they don't. And to me, if you're going to be a leader, you're a very weak leader to let people publicly try to defame you and destroy your character so nobody else will trust you and nobody will do business with you and you don't respond to it. You don't rise up to the occasion. No, you don't have to argue with everybody that says you don't have to respond every time, but you still need to make your position a very standard, very bold position and be very secure in who you are as a leader and what you do and what you stand for and what you believe in and don't believe in. So that's why I like to always discuss these things with people that support me and people that listen. But then again, I see it's very clear. I have people that hate me that listen too, because I've noticed that every time somebody has come up against me, the people that have followed me a long time know what I'm talking about. I've just thought about that. Every single person that has come against me and made up lies, they make up a whole bunch of lies. And as you see, as time goes on, they're never able to bring out proof of anything they've said. But I've always brought out proof of what I said about them. And then they start wishing death on me, which tells me that had to be what you were thinking when you approached me acting as a friend. You were a friend of me and an enemy to begin with. And I noticed that, but saying that to say, getting back to my point, that is when I noticed my hair starting to come out. When I took the health store to Hootie My Aunt Roz, aka Ernest Cooper's formulas directly from his hand in California. And then I got here and it was the leaks, and then I didn't know. I realized over time from all those leaks that was mold. So it was hitting me so many different directions. I didn't know how I got, because I'm not a nasty hygiene person. Don't sleep with other people. Don't even let people lay in my bed. Damn, I'm trying to think. I can't even think of the last time somebody laid in my bed. Probably, the last time it just came to me, someone laid down to take a nap and to talk to me, because I asked them to lay down and talk to me, was my baby, my son. When he got out of prison in 2013, I had not touched and seen my son, and he hadn't seen and tried my products yet, and I massaged and touched my child. I don't know if you all did that when your children were born. I massaged my stomach because I couldn't physically reach him. But when I had him, I massaged him and washed his hair and oiled his body. And his father would come over every day and do it. But he would just put him in the sun. I'm like, would you stop trying to bake my son and darken my son? And I'm like, you, as light as you are, why are you trying to do this to him? But he clearly didn't like being as light as he was. So he would always tan. He was tanning my baby. I would have to come out there and get my child, like baking him. My mother said she would do that to me, and I absolutely hated it. Uh, so I wanted to rub him. I wanted to hold my child. He didn't stay too long, but he laid on the other side of my bed, because us mothers, we always see them as our babies, and it's so important, especially if they've been incarcerated and they've been treated so cruelly and subhumanly and literally like they're on a slave ship. Every chance you get is important to tell them that you love them and to put your hands on them, because they need to have a loving hand instead of an assaulting, abusive hand on them, where they constantly have to fight to survive, or they're constantly being ridiculed by the staff and by other inmates. So that was like the last time somebody laid there. So I know I didn't catch this. It wasn't a contagious infection. It wasn't lice or anything like that. And so I had to research and find out that I had uh, fungus and mold and yeast in my head. And literally, if you have it in your head, you have it in your skin, you have it in your gut, you have it in your mouth, you have it in your vagina. It's everywhere, because the hair, the head is like the last place the nutrients go. So I then from there, when Nipsey came, he's like, "Oh, you just I'm looking everywhere, and everything I tried didn't work, and scrubbing it with baking soda, and that really wasn't long lasting. My scalp would bleed and crust. It was itching. I would scratch it. It would bleed and crust and get raw. And a few days it'll stop itching, and a few days later, crust up, pus up, bleed. I mean, it was awful. I know the pain of what a lot of people go through and children go through, and I used to go get shots in my scalp to grow it back. I had all the steroids. I had all the antibiotics. They help the acne in the head, and I had bumps in my head that were like pimples, and that would pop. I mean, it was a nightmare, and then a nightmare to see my hair coming out like that. Now it doesn't. And Nipsey gave me that formula, and it was just so easy. He's like, "Oh, you just do this, this, and that, and take this and that." I just started researching. I'm looking for these things he's saying, and now I've created, since I got out of the hospital this time. And I said, you know what, spirits, please, please, do we have to get the things? Do you have to teach me things by fucked up circumstance? But I don't want to go through this anymore. I almost didn't survive it this time. But I came up with some beautiful formulas for the past. Well, we're in July. I've been home since January. This time that I've been here at home, and I'm using all of them, and I have new formulas now. And so the ones I sent out a couple of days ago are part of the new formulas. So I hope that the people see it and they feel it and they get the results I've gotten. Because I no longer have a scalp problem, a fungus problem, a yeast or mold problem in my head. I no longer have an itchy scalp, flaky scalp. It's just nice, healthy skin on my scalp. Okay, so I've been busy for the past few weeks because I had so many orders, and then dealing with detoxing my own body and dealing with cleaning the filter and being able to breathe in here. I had to do that. Um, I don't really have a lot to talk about right now. I do want to say I noticed the comments. Like YouTube took down a couple of my older videos, even from the Young Dolph Death. They're like 3 years old, and said that I made medical misstatements. I don't know what the medical misstatements are. When I was talking about the man with the crocodile and the crocodile meat, luckily we saved it, so it's not lost. You know, they like to do shit like that, and they've done that too. They did this week, and last week they took my video down without any warning. Luckily we have it. Thank God we have it. I didn't hear anything. I started listening to some of it last night. I didn't hear anything that I said because I was going to appeal it and show it from the time of 21, like 3 years later. A lot of things I've said have come true, like COVID, what I said about COVID. That has come out. The CDC has admitted it. The pharmaceutical companies have admitted about the blood clots and the deaths, and that is not you can't accuse me of medical misrepresentation anymore, because now we have government documentation of what I said has come true. Oh my God. Are you all seeing this with these Boeings, with these airlines, and it's just amazing to me how so many people say that I'm crazy and I'm out of my mind. Why am I lying like this? Ever since Nipsey told me to start talking about these Boeings in 2019, we're in 2024, and train derailments and water catastrophes. We're in water worlds, and about these national parks. I think something again just happened in Yosemite State Park a couple of days ago. Maybe two separate instances dealing with people and either being injured out there or losing their life. I got this, what was it, earlier today or yesterday? A pilot lost control of the plane while it was flying in the air. Another plane, what was it, yesterday? They said the back of the bottom, the back of the airplane, the tail part, or one of the parts in the back was dragging as it was taking off for a long time before it took off, just dragging the ground. I don't even know why the pilot would want to take off like that. They must have gotten there safely. We haven't heard about a major crash yet. This is happening almost every day. And what I have been afraid of is a crash, a major commercial airplane crash, either in the airline, the military. We've seen a lot of these small planes also just crashing and not being able to explain it. This has not happened ever, at least in the United States that I know of, where this has constantly been happening before 2019, and problems with trains and train derailments and toxic chemical spills. But I know they've hidden a lot of the chemical spills that were in different states and towns, and people started to get sick and didn't know why, and got unexplained cancers and central nervous system and brain disorders. Now we know a lot of these trucks that are carrying these toxic chemicals that they use in creating products or cleaning or breaking down certain things have secretly been leaked, or there have been crashes or running into a train or something, a chemical spill that they don't tell the residents of that area, and now they are telling it. So all these things, or I have said, are coming out. I know you all are seeing it, since you all are seeing my crazy. Since I'm so crazy, why is this coming out on mainstream white people's television and white people news? And a lot of you tell me when you see these things, you think of me. Because that's when all these other, including psychics, attack me and call me a big liar, say that I'm lying for what I am seeing. Thank you. Yes, put my cash up in here. Hit my cash up. Make it clap. What did someone say? The Clue channel. Oh, Alexis, this is you on YouTube. I used to watch you. Oh, okay. I looked at a particular case. I don't know all the details of it because I hadn't seen. I guess I've been doing so much other stuff. I hadn't really gotten into it. But yep, if you want me to get more information, hit the donation. I'm not going to continue to come on here, especially when I got so much other stuff to do and really busy and be tired. Thank you, Stephen Harris. And you're not donating to support what I do. I'm not gonna continue to do it. I've had it. There was this young man. I think he's 31. He's a gay stripper here in Atlanta, and also a college student. He was an owner, CEO of his dance company, and him and his lover owned the company. So they lived together, loved together, danced together. Then they brought a third man into the mix. So the three of them were all lovers and lived together. Thank you, BLH. And I think it was like a week ago during 4th of July weekend. He went with the other lover. They said the original lover he started with, they broke up, and was it Deontay? I think his first name is Deontay. Dog, I just forgot the last name. And he was murdered when he was down in, I think they went to Alabama to see his sister last week. Holiday weekend. This was all over major news. It still is. And somebody has a webcam or a doorbell, or a camera on the house. They see DeAndre running, and so he jumped a fence, and he's running away from his sister's house, and his lover was also there staying in the house. The lover said he jumped out of a window, jumped a fence, and was just running, and he couldn't catch him. He couldn't stop him. And I don't know if it's a few hours later or a day later, they found him dead in a shed on some other property that nobody was living on. And DeAndre's sister said that his lover was just sitting there eating and was talking about how good the food was, and didn't even go chase her brother to see what was wrong with him or what happened to him. Now he's physically dead, And the lover went into hiding and got a lawyer. So now the lawyer speaks for him. No, and when he's running, because they think he might have something to do with it, his lover is not chasing him. But I believe that he was drugged. I believe he was running and acting erratic like that because the lover that was with him, the light-skinned guy, drugged him, gave him something. And it keeps showing the little bit that I saw. I'm getting cold chills right now. So if any of y'all could see the dance videos, I was looking for his dance videos. I was looking for something that I could hear him talking. Because if this is him, when I said, so what happened? And I said, that's what they did. He's like, yes, bitch. Honey, you know, these niggas set me up. And they were trying to take my money and take my business. And honey, we was fucking all these men. And I'm just, so I'm like, I wonder if this, and thank you, Douglas Green. I wonder if this young man, DeUndre, did he talk that way? I wonder, was he more of a feminine gay man? Did he have like that sassiness and, you know, move that neck? You know, like black women when they talk and hand on the hip and twisting. I'm really wondering, is he more of a feminine gay man? Because the one that is talking to me is, and when he's like, yes, bitch, it's not like calling me a bitch to insult me. He's just talking to me. It's like no harm. So I'm listening. I said, I got to hear him talk because I'm wondering, is this him or is it a friend of his or somebody else is talking? They're gossiping about this. And he says it's the lovers. The one that was with him in that house and the one that he had just broke up with, the dark skinned one that he had been dancing with and been with a long time. I don't know if they were childhood friends, high school friends. Those two, even though they're saying he wasn't there and he had just broke up with him the day before, so he was very upset that he chose the light skinned one. But he's telling me he didn't want his ass. He had told him they had gotten into some type of fight, a confrontation about these men and about these arguments and disagreements. He said, and the drug use. He's mentioning sex trafficking in Atlanta and how bad it is, and even he mentioned little boys. So see, this here, this is already going somewhere I kind of don't want to go because I know that this is going to be explosive. He mentioned politicians, the city of Atlanta government and police, high-ranking businessmen. He mentioned the governor's office. I mean, goddamn, this thing is all over the goddamn place because he said that's how, because, you know, for you all that don't know, Atlanta is one of the gay capitals in the world. So they accommodate gays and they help men to get their transsexual surgeries and to look just like women and protect them. And he said, but it is the power brokers on top that are secretly gay or gay for pay or have a woman that they married to have children that's a beard to hide their lifestyle. He's saying, and gay men live like royalty here once they get out and get the eye of a powerful politician, a powerful person. I mean, and he's saying that they run everything. This whole city is on lock because the power grid. They know all the power grids and the power play. Oh boy. You know, I don't like to do these types of readings because people get mad at me for where I say I'm going to call me a liar and bitch, you talk too motherfucking much and all this shit. But what he is saying is absolutely explosive. And you know, but I'm not surprised. We've heard these things forever. And you know who also said it that physically died here is Kevin, what is that? Is it Kevin Samuels? when he came to me a year or two ago, he is saying the same thing that Kevin Samuels is saying. And I don't know why he wants to tell on them. Okay, one reason he just said to me, he said because it's a lot of abuse of children and child trafficking and little boy. He said, especially little boys. He said, well, he mentioned babies too, and he's very intelligent. So he was in the university. I don't know which school he went to, or if he went to some part of AU Center. But so he would know because he's a reader, and he studies and he's very intellectual, even though, he loved men and like to shake his ass and dance. But he was like, but bitch, I'm all about that money though. I'm all about that paper. So he was doing very well with his dancing company and dancing with his lovers and stripping. And, he said the men would pay them for sex. They were also prostituting on the, God damn. He's Now he's bringing up Wayne Williams and during the era of Maynard Jackson, he was the first black mayor, and them KKKs over there, and they had to cover up the fact it was white people's murdering them black boys. It wasn't Wayne Williams committing all them murders. He was a fall guy and a patsy. They won't let him out, even though they have publicly said they don't have any evidence that Wayne Williams murdered and raped all them black boys. They know, but he said that this is the same good old boys network. You know what? Lord have mercy. He says, so they're gay and they're in their world, but it's like you get your benefits, you get your money, and you keep your fucking mouth quiet. So he's like, yes, I saw this and I benefited from the perks of being in a city that love gay people that secretly is gay. And if you gay and you got an agenda, they're going to push your agenda so they can bring in the younger generation of gays. That's what he's saying. Hit my cash out, make it clap. This is pretty, oh wow. Okay, he just went into one of these big rooms. He says it's some kind of ball, like a governor's ball, or it's at this mansion. He just showed me a gigantic statue of a Baphomet. And he said this is also ties into witchcraft and black magic, where they sacrifice black people. Put them in a certain area, target them, create a certain zone, make policies for that zone, red line that district. And he drew the lines, and the lines actually looked like a devil with like a five-point star with the 2 points pointed with the horn on the end of, you know what? Like Washington, D.C. Oh boy, I did not know that this young man would take this here. I thought he would just tell me about, he just mentioned Stone Mountain. That's one of the most popular areas for old rituals in the good old boy network and the KKK, when the original blood belongs to the so-called niggers, which would be black Indians, the indigenous peoples here. They're pulling off and feeding off the blood of that. They need constant new sacrifices in the jail and outside the jail. And it's still the blood of our ancestors, the ones that us that were born here, that under that mountain and inside of and on top and run down it. I still see it run down it. The Stone Mountain, he mentioned that as a Baphomet point. And for gays. And I'm seeing somebody, a white man, pissing out down the mountain, seeing them do murders, human sacrifices, and rapes up there. And they have to spill that blood at a certain day and a certain time during all these major holidays they set up. And going along with these church big time preachers and church celebrations. He said them ruled by gays. Secretly in their societies, they have a council or a board of directors and another council within the council that's tied to the mayors and the governors. If you become a mega church, just know that that's because they are they have been initiated, and they secretly bow down to the Baphomet, he said, and voodoo. He also showed me a voodoo shrine where they give initiating the Ifa. Showed me the coconut. I'm seeing that right now. Oh boy, this is a heavy one. Speaking of that, I'm going to step out of that. And look, honey, I don't have to tell you why my screen is black. Just don't fucking be over here. Just take your ass somewhere else, honey. You'll be all right. Because you don't question me about what the fuck I do on my goddamn page. Here's another thing that I saw. A couple of days ago, I woke up out my sleep, had a bad experience. I'm not going to say dream. It wasn't a dream. I was in the astral and I saw this happening in Atlanta right now. And I'm sure it's going to happen again. It's going to get to the news where you'll hear about what I am talking about. And I believe this is in a city near you. It's not just in Atlanta. People that are on the ground that know, that live in these areas, that are in gangs and that sell drugs. They're going to have this now where it's like where it's exclusive and it's broke up in divisions and blocks and cities and towns and states. It's ran by the cartel. Certain people inside these police and feds, they are letting this go on to the point that the ones that are trying to do something about it, they're not going to have no control. It's already gotten out of control. Just because you don't see it and you don't hear it talked about don't mean it's under control or it has not infiltrated your city, state, and town yet. I got my body. I was in Atlanta, but it was on the rough side of town with a hotel. It was a motel like. It wasn't a big old nice string of hotel, but we already know it's gonna come out what I said about that sex trafficking going on in there. They had the hidden compartments in the floor and tunnels under the ground of the fucking hotel. Major hotels are now being sued for trafficking in there. I saw, yesterday on the news, was it Washington? It was one of these states. They found about 200 children. These children had been missing. It's either Washington, California, somewhere like that. You can Google and see where it is. I don't remember. But it's in the United States. These children, they had them in this house. For some reason, something happened, and the police was called to the house, and they thought it was a family in there. They see it's 200 smuggled children in there that had been missing. That's where these children is going, like I told y'all. They're not all dead somewhere. They smuggling these children. They sex trafficking these children. As well as using them for drugs, drug mules, and cartel. Organs transfer and shit. Organ stealing. I was at this hotel. It was run down and real nasty. It was old because the steps were metal. The porch part is concrete. It's just, everything is just really harsh and concrete. And the hotel, everything looked the same. No variations in it. No swimming pool. I didn't see any of that. It was real ran down. And these black people, these niggas was running the areas in Atlanta. It looked like where projects or low income areas that they selling dope. So now I seen some Mexicans. I don't know if they was just Mexican. I don't know what they MRS or MS-13. Some of them came from different parts like, Colombia, Honduras. The reason why I'm saying that, because I know a lot of those people are racist. They hate black people. And they are very hardened because they see murders or young children getting murdered and raped every day, heads blown off, explosions. The stuff that we don't see every day, they see it every fucking day, just like they over there in Afghanistan somewhere. And it doesn't faze them. They're in battle and selling drugs and killing people at 7, 8 years old. So it doesn't mean anything. They don't feel anything, especially coming in, killing some black people that don't mean nothing to them anyway, that they didn't have to grow up around or engage them and were taught to be racist. So I seen these Spanish people. They looked, a lot of them looked like it was a Mexican cartel because they all have different looks and from different places, depending on their mixture, and where they from. But I see there's a big presence in Georgia running it, and they're gonna have it because I saw them have it there. In this area where I seen, they done made a deal with the niggas and told the niggas, you ain't running nothing. You can't sell what you want to sell. You can't pick the block in the area you wanna pick unless you come, because we done took it over now. It belonged to us, so you can sell for us or die, goddamn it, because you not gonna sell for yourself and be able to keep your money and be on a block that we now own this real estate. We now control this zone. As long as like zoned, and just like New York had borough, we got zone and county. They don't. Somebody up high has given it to them because the niggas don't have no political power, no control. This they supposed to love and have their pride on black folks and gay folks and shit and black gays. They don't run that shit. Them cartels have been allowed to come in and they have stores and real estate and gas station and variety stores and shit like they supposed to. They all stick together, have their sides of town in Atlanta, but they dominating that nigga side in the fucking drug game, and they sit down and have a little talk with them. Now you can get your drugs from us. You supply the drug, you sell them, you get all the money together, you give us our cut, you keep your cut, and we telling you, we running your zone. We done now took over your neighborhood, and if you don't like it, basically all you can do is get a bullet, because it ain't nothing else you can do, and ain't nobody you can fucking call and tell, because the police can't get all of us out of here. So some niggas it's like they had made an agreement with them, and they didn't deliver their money on the date that they were supposed to deliver the money. I seen these black trucks, photo trucks, but they look like them police trucks that come up, like a Ford minivan, and or the SUVs. They came in SUVs. They was all black, photo, black on black. Everything was black. Paint black, windows jet black, interior black. The Mexicans rolled up in that motherfucker and surrounded it. And what really got me, because they was talking to me, and he was like, you want to sell for me? I said, look, I don't want to sell no dope. I don't live over here and shit. I didn't even know how he could see me. Or maybe it was somebody else he was talking to and I was inside of their body. And he's like, I want you. I don't care if you don't want to. You'll be a good sale. You'll be a good attraction for me. I want you to get out here. Like, he wasn't telling me like to get on the corner or be at that nasty hotel. Like, give me another kind of position where I'm dressed up, got my hair fixed and shit, in certain area. And I'm just like, I don't want to be a part of that shit. And he just kept talking to me and trying to convince me, like, no, this is what I want you to do. And I'm going to make sure. I'm like, I don't want no parts of this shit. I don't even know how the fuck I got over here. I guess I needed to see the shit. He didn't bother me. I thought he was going to kill me. He didn't. Then what really got to me is that the shooters, and they had all these assault rifles. I'm talking about, that's how fast that shit was coming out. Big old fucking bullets. They was young, like 10, 11, 12 years old. And then teens. The older motherfucking Mexican niggas that ran the shit was drivers. They had already trained them, hired them, brought them from Mexico. And so that when they do that right there, they were going to exit back so that nobody would even know who the fuck did it. Unless it was inside the circle. Them young boys got out of there, just started spraying the whole parking lot downstairs, because the little motel was 2-story. Once they started spraying, it was just niggas. Body parts, guts, arms, hand, foot, and shit, leg. Then they were walking up on them, just tore up, laying all in the parking lot. Because they already knew who they were going to do it to. And the only person, it wasn't no cheering women and babies out there unless you're a part of the gang. Everybody that was down there, they knew who they were because they was a part of the gang and the group where the gang leader had made a deal with the Mexican cartel to take out. They gave them a lot of motherfucking dope. And they didn't turn all of it in. So they knew who was there. And it was late at night, over like after midnight when to do the shit. They went there, then they started kicking in. They was shooting through the doors locked, and they weren't even just kicking it straight in, through it, shooting through the window. I don't know. The owner must have been tied into it. I ain't see the owner, and I did not see one goddamn city of Atlanta police. I did not see any police, which means nobody called their goddamn ass, which means some of them officers had to be in that shit and watch that area and secure that area to make sure no calls fucking came in and shit and got their little cut. They shot up the whole downstairs, went in all the rooms, then kicked the door, went through. Oh my God, it was brutal. They had some on the side of the hotel. They had the motherfucking niggas in the back of the hotel. It was a little wooded area. Niggas in the woods out there with them guns. Oh boy. Had them lights on there with had the heat sensors on it. You can pick up anything that's moving, that's got a that's White King nip drip. Yep. Focus on the vibration of that number. When you keep saying a number over and over and over, like I saw that 321 the other day, that is an angel vibration number and a love number. Or if you want to focus on. So look at the meanings and the vibrations of your number, whatever the angel sign, what they're trying to tell you, and follow it and listen to it if you keep sitting, because they're speaking to you from the higher vibrations. Went to the second floor and went to the back. So if anybody try to run out the back, they killing their ass in the back. I'm talking about it went in the leaders, the older men was standing. I seen they fade. Seen them watching it once they sprayed it up. See, this is, I'm not saying they don't do that, but they don't do that over here yet. They don't just go into a certain area and say, oh, we just gonna go over here where these niggas in and just kill all of them. For no reason. Ain't nobody did nothing to you over there. Ain't nobody sell no dope. I just hate them and I'm just gonna shoot up all of them and we just gonna drive. You can't just do that, at least over here. Not yet. And get away with that shit. What scares me is the spirit said it's coming. If you live in those areas, you better find a way to get the fuck out. If you in them areas and it's a high drug trafficking over there, or you see the drug, and because a lot of people like to get high, they like to sell dope, and it's niggas, and they don't have no judgment about the shit, and they ain't suffering and worrying about the shit. So that's going to happen, and it's not just in Atlanta. I want y'all to start letting me know. I want y'all to start watching all of these states where they have an area just like that, because those areas are made. Those areas are created. Ghettos are created. Political, financial, jobs, education, they all structure that to make a black system and a white system to keep people down, certain minorities down, and not be able to compete with them and block you out of certain opportunities, certain jobs. I'm not saying black people don't get through, but I guarantee you, and I'm willing to bet you to be wrong, they ain't gonna let everybody and all of them. It's not gonna be no equal opportunity employment like they say. Just like in Georgia, they can fire you for any time, and they made sure the people that these wealthy white people that own these staffing companies, make sure they keep staff from temps. They like to circulate temps. And they have fought and have lobbyists to block it in Georgia when they vote to change laws to not have a lot of companies with unions. Why? So your black ass don't have no goddamn rights, and they can just fire your ass because they don't like the outfit you had on because your ass shaped better than theirs. They just make up shit. And then you're like, well, at least if you try to keep your job for 3 months, at least you get benefits. Oh, they're going to fire you usually before that happens. So you think you out slicking them? They already know the game, and they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. And unfortunately, black folks do that shit to black people, especially when they feel like they not one of you, they're above you, they got more education than you, or give them a position where they got some power. Oh, you will see how quickly it will go to their head because they ain't used to no motherfucking power and set up other niggas and shit. You know, on there, be spying on the job, sucking dicks on the job in the motherfucking break room and in the bathroom. Man, I have seen all that. I don't miss being in those jobs. And then set you up. Next day you come in. You always come in early and you always leave late. But the bitch don't like you. Other bitches don't like you. It's going to be always gossip and shit and messiness in them fucking jobs. Even if they don't know your business. Hell, they'll create business. And then you really won't have a leg to stand on. Oh, go to the EEOC. Okay, well, most of the time that doesn't work either because they run that. So you're dealing with in a situation where you got black folks selling drugs to black people, and you got black bitches sucking dicks and selling their ass, and fucking sissies sucking dick for dope. And so see, you got on both sides. If you in those communities, you better start watching what the fuck I'm saying because it's gonna turn into war zones and wasteland, just carrying black bodies out of there. Like they come to pick up like the trash man coming. Goddamn it. Twice a week picking up your goddamn trash and putting it in the fucking dump. That's how bad the spirit showed me this shit is gonna get. They have given them, and see, we look at the administration that we under to see when this is happening, which means there's someone higher up in the presidential office that's got boots on the ground that is giving benefits and sanctioning this shit. Because it wouldn't be happening under Trump or a Republican regime. It might, but not as bad as a Democratic one. And if Trump gets in there, a lot of this shit is going to stop. That's why they don't want him in there. But see, I'm also wondering about the predictions about him. Will he survive? Will he be the last president? And will he stay alive to finish that term? That what keep coming to me. So if you're in those areas, always be alert, as you know. And then work on finding a way to get off the grid when you can. But out of those areas, because it's going to get to a point, even starting here in Atlanta, they showed me in Atlanta. So I bet you this is going on somewhere. As somebody, if you know about it and you hear this show, please email me and tell me. Because I'm not out and about and I'm not talking to a lot of people that's in these areas, anymore. And I got to find out because I noticed the crime rate has shot up in Atlanta. The shooting rate, the killing rate has shot up in Atlanta. Real bad. So that's telling me what I saw is already here. And like I told you, the weird thing about this vision, when I was astral projecting, I was over there. There was no police, not one fucking police car. There was no newscasters, no news channel because they didn't get the alert from the police. See, oh boy. I'm trying not to say this here. I mean, I'm not surprised. Richard Simmons old as hell. That's an old exercising sister, honey. Yeah, so he probably close to 100. God damn it, he was out jumping around and switching his ass around with them stocking on and grease on when I was motherfucking coming up. God damn it, I mean, so shit. I'm surprised he's, usually they stick around real goddamn long. The one that sold they sold, they have a wrong goddamn life. Like her Dr. Ruth just died, yesterday or something. She was 96 years old, and undercover she was a bomb maker. I think she was part of the Israeli army. She could have been, I think she's Jewish, and she's a serious ass bitch. Don't let that her talking about the pussy and dick and smile fool your motherfucking ass. That's what I just said, Dr. Ruth. But Yeah, that really bothered me when I saw it, which means it's certain zones, they black out the zone. A lot of killings. This was, I don't even want to say this was a goddamn killing. I mean, this was a massacre. They was just sweeping the motherfucking street. Like with them, the way them assault rifles was hidden. I mean, so fast like that. And and bullets, I mean, just bodies, bullets and bodies, smoke and shit. It's all you seen. And they were quietly doing that shit. And when they did it, but at the same time, the way it was so brutal, I'm just wondering, like, why nobody here? And the street lights and shit. It was just a few street lights. Like I said, this kind of remind me of a hotel I done seen. Motels, like I done seen. It wasn't, it might have been houses nearby. It wasn't, it was houses, but most of it was like the restaurants were closer to it. The highway. So you take in the noise, even though this is late at night where it's totally quiet. I mean, it was peaceful quiet. You just hear the noise of the cars on the highway. It was an expressway nearby, but it wasn't anybody or anything else around. The restaurants were closed because it was like after midnight. It was around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning when they did it. But I'm sure somebody heard something, somebody saw something, and I'm sure somebody had a phone in there. They were killing them before they could get to a goddamn phone. And the rent office, like where you rent out a room and shit, that was totally fucking vacant. So either they paid that motherfucker off and told him, get your goddamn ass up out of here, goddamn it. You know, or killed them. But I didn't see nothing up there. I didn't walk up there to see nothing. It was in the main goddamn parking lot, and it was in the main hotel. There was a little motel shaped like an L. I could see it. If I see this thing online, I'm going to take a picture of it, like the door with urn. Now, y'all know I'm country, so I didn't say, I know the correct pronunciation is orange. Orange. It's orange. God damn it, it's orange down here in this bitch. Motherfucker will earn, and around the trim of the motherfucker will earn. But on the top, like the roof was a normal color, like a reddish kind of brown. But then on the side, the walls on the hotel were like a peach or pink, or it was lighter than the urn, goddamn it, on the door. So now I understand. I understood when I saw it. They had everything on lock. That cartel is powerful. And wherever they go, they're going to dominate it. Whoever's running shit, they're going to shut their ass down. You know, unless it's somebody like, you know, the Russian mob or some shit like that. They not going to be able to do that. I'm talking about like in the area where they go, the project area with the niggas and the nigga gangs and shit. Oh, yeah. In them areas, they have given permission to take over those areas. It's a wrap. The niggas clearly ain't got no power, no political power, police power, ain't got the military over here like the cartel and the other gangs do to shut an area down and run an area. Basically, you know they are not going to let that happen over here because they will call the feds in. If niggas is shooting motherfuckers like this, even if they Mexicans for trying to shoot them in a drug war, and the police find out about it, the state find out about it, the government find out about it, these niggas get out of control and got a whole militia in this bitch, you know what that means. Now, that'll be on the goddamn news, and they're going to call all the backup in, and they're going to be killed or arrested for war crime, treason, all kinds of shit. So if they have that backup, they clearly not using it, but most of them don't have it. They're just some regular street dealers that live in a particular area. This is scary to me because if the government allows some shit like that to happen, see, this happens in other countries. They're already used to it. They used to it. They true to it. They have no emotion. You're not one of theirs. And they've not been told to make you one of theirs. Now, there are black people that do business with the cartel they respect. They don't do that too unless you fuck with their money. But there's some way, just like I know from watching this story with Lil Meech and about Big Meech, he had some cartel members that loved him and that supplied him. That's why he could do it so well and had so much. So I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but as a whole, these black drug dealers, male and female, and they got children, have sold their soul to stay alive and to make money and sold their own people. Basically, you're gonna go down either way. You're gonna be a drug dealer, or you're gonna get a fuck away from there to save you and your family's life, or you're going to be a junkie and you're going to be dead if you don't want to play that game because you don't have the force, you don't have the power to stand up behind them. So I'm getting ready to go and take a break because from what my assistant said, nobody has donated anything. So there's really nothing I wanted to get into else at this time. I'm not going to. Especially if people don't donate and support my knowledge. I'm tired of working hard and giving it away for nothing. I'm constantly working, and I work for years. At this point, I'm just really tired. So if people don't want me to come back and they don't want to donate for me to come back to get into things, I'm not going to stress myself doing all this talking for nothing. I can be doing something else. So if people want to contact me privately, yes, about product, spiritual issues, things like that, you can contact me. But to constantly be on here and just constantly doing free shows and I ain't getting nothing in return. See, these other people that y'all support, they get a whole bunch of views. YouTube doesn't restrict their views. They don't restrict their subscribers, and they have commercials. So these people get a YouTube check and they get donations from the public. I don't get that. All my videos are restricted. They take them down. But I know too, I'm a cusser. I'm basically make up shit to justify suppressing the views and taking the videos down. So I don't have any commercials. But other people cuss too that still get a lot more views and get sponsorships from YouTube and get donations in their Cash App. Y'all don't always support me like that. So they have an easier time. They don't have to ask for donations because it's already built in, and YouTube makes sure they get their YouTube check, they get their commercial, and they get their views, and the regular people that watch them donate to them. So it's, from now on, I'm going to treat everybody like they treat me. If you don't want to be fair to me, then I'm not going to continuously over give and give and give and give. I check in, say hello, but all the deep information that y'all like to hear, that you say you love me so much. You're the ones that say they love me so much, and they check on the email where you been, how you doing, they don't give a goddamn dime. And wonder why I ask. Like, I'm not supposed to fucking ask, but y'all always ask for information and on this person and that person. It's okay for you to ask when I ask them, oh, well, I ain't got it. I'm looking for a job and all this shit. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe I need to be looking for a job too, goddammit. Like y'all looking. And keep my motherfucking mouth quiet. I'm gonna start doing, y'all say, yeah, I'm busy. I'm looking for a job too, goddamn. So I have a job. I don't have to go through this. Anyway, I'm tired. I gotta go. I'll talk to y'all later.